Hey y'all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. Today we are going to be doing another casual Katie get ready with me type video using a brand new palette that literally just ended up on my doorstep. It is the Klarity Cosmetics So Mermaizing palette. It is the pastel palette that I picked up from Klarity Cosmetics. I talked about it a couple weeks ago on Will I Buy It, and I ended up ordering it on pre-order and it just arrived today. And I want to put this on my eyes, so I was like, you know what, I just put the kids down for now. I have just enough time to do an eye look and then hopefully edit it and get it up for you guys fairly soon. So if you guys are seeing this on Friday, April 16th, that means I was able to accomplish my task. That's what we're going for today. So let's just go ahead and put this palette on my eyes, test it out together for the first time together on camera, and just have a really relaxed and laid back get ready with me. Okay, so just to show you guys once again, this is the palette and I believe it's supposed to have some duochromes. I don't know if they're multi-chromes, but I do think they're just duochromes and more like iridescent shifting type of shadows. And then they have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes and then those shimmers, and I cannot wait. I am really curious though. I feel like my camera's washing it out just a touch. However, these two shadows are also still pretty darn similar in person. Like even when I was swatching them out before the video started and blending them together, I was like, can you really tell a difference? So I want to use those two in a look to see, because I feel like that's the biggest, like, not skeptic, but just biggest question I have with this palette. You guys know my love for blues and greens and yellows, and with this palette, having them so close is just kind of like, are they just gonna look the same? That's always a pet peeve of mine. So I want to use those two in a look. We're gonna start with a little bit of yellow in my inner corner, and then I'll blend out to the green and then to the blue on the outer corner. I think that was what I will do. And I think this is a very interesting type of pastel palette because I feel like it is that kind of like subdued grunge. I don't know, there's something about it. If you guys didn't see the Give Me Glow, this is last year's palette bundle that they sold. They're coming out with a new palette. I will be comparing Klarity to the new palette. I didn't want to compare it to the old one today just because I feel like it would serve no purpose because you can't get this anymore. But as you can see, like, there's definitely like less saturation. It appears to be less saturation in the Klarity Cosmetics. So I'm curious to see how it will look on the eyes. And yeah, let's just get it on. I have so many questions. I cannot wait to see how this works, how this looks on the eyes. So I'm going to take a really small brush and then I'm going to take a little bit of Fantastic and start putting that in. We're just going to start with this right in here. I primed my eyes with the Gerard Clean Canvas Eye Base, which is kind of my staple for like first impressions. When I try a palette for whatever reason, it's just such an easy eyeshadow base that I'm very familiar with. The only kind of issues it's ever given me is if it doesn't let the eyeshadow last all day. But besides that, I've never really had issues with blending stuff out on top of it and whatnot. Okay, this is a very light shadow. Can you, let me put it down even more. Hopefully that's even easier for you to see because it is just, I mean, of course it is a yellow, but it's also just very, very, very lightly toned yellow. I do also see a little bit of patching issues happening. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera because this is such a light yellow. Like, I don't even know if you can see the color period, but I can see in person that there's this spot like right here in the middle. I don't know if it's because I wasn't using packing motions and it doesn't like my primer, or I was just putting so much on, but there's definitely a bald spot there that I don't like. Now I don't see it on this side. I don't think I really did much difference besides that when I went on this side, because I knew it was so light, I kind of packed it on a little bit more before blending, whereas this side I started more so blending. So something to note there. I did want to say while I was doing this video, my video for the graphic eyeliner look actually just went live yesterday at the time of me filming this, but it was actually filmed a week before that. I'm going to go in with the green now. This is I'll Have a Martini. But anyway, so it was filmed last week, but I just wanted to update you guys that my kiddos are all recovered, thankfully. I had been talking in that video about Gideon. He had a cough and it was pretty rough for a good solid week. I feel like that I didn't sleep much, but his cough is finally a lot better. He doesn't, it doesn't disturb his sleep. Every now and then he'll get up to cough, but it's like he can still sleep through it. So he is so much better and I have gotten more sleep, so I am doing better. Thank you guys so much for the sweet words. That was very kind of you. Okay, I'm seeing that patch again right there. Let me try, I forget because I was talking, I forget if I was packing on more or if I was blending more. So I'm gonna try packing it on and being really mindful of that. This could be, of course, due to base as well. Like, keep in mind if this is patching, maybe it just doesn't like the base that I have, but no, this is doing it too. I can see it starting to go right there. I always wonder how much you guys can see on camera, because sometimes I always kind of feel like people might think I'm seeing things or something if it doesn't come across on camera and then I'm going on and on about it. I think you can see that. Like, that's a significant bald spot. Okay, this is not going as planned, but let's move on. Let me grab another brush. I think I'm gonna grab more of a packer brush so that hopefully we don't have any patching issues. And I'm gonna pick up the blue, which is You Mermaid My Day. The names are absolutely adorable. This is, I don't think I said in the beginning, but this is my first time trying Klarity Cosmetics, and I'm super excited. I did hear, I feel like overall for Klarity Cosmetics, I've heard mixed. Like, sometimes I'll hear really good things, but I think the last time I like paid attention to a review from them, it was with their blue palette that they did, and I want to say Amy did a video using it and she had a lot of patching issues. So I haven't heard much of them. I don't know, I just, if it's not a palette like I'm super interested, I tend to not pay attention as closely to reviews and whatnot. But yeah, this is my first time trying. Okay, that blue seems to be better. Like, I don't really see it doing it too much. Maybe this is a palette you just have to pack on and not blend. Something to note. And I do think, I don't know, you can see as much difference on your eyes between the blue and the green as you can in the pan. Like, it's just such a minute difference. I'm a little, I don't know, underwhelmed at these two just because I wish there was more of a difference. I also wish these were brighter. I feel like, I mean, I'll try them on a white base and whatnot to try to get them to pack a little bit more of a punch, but I feel like in all of my pastel palettes that I've tried, barring like She Glam, that was just super sheer, but barring like that, I feel like this is the lightest pigmented one that I've tried. I'm trying to think of all them, like Glam Light, I think was more pigmented, and like, it, not even just more pigmented, but more intensity in the color. Give Me Glow was more intense. What else have I tried? I'm trying to think. The Pastel Pup from Menagerie, I remember more intensity. Now Menagerie, I do believe that you could get it probably to this level of pastel if you kind of went on lighter, but packing it on like I'm doing now, I would be able to get a good amount of pigmentation. Man, I really do not like those bald spots. Let's see, I have one here, maybe a one there, I'm not sure. And then one there. The blue here is fine. The blue here doesn't look the best. I wouldn't call it an actual patch, but it's like on the verge of patching. Oh, I'm so curious now trying this. I know several people who've gotten their palettes today or this past week, so I'm so curious. I've been trying to be a lot better at not, oh my gosh, this is almost patched, I feel like all off. Can you see how it's like, there's this definite line and then in the inside it's just gone? Anyway, I saw a couple people like put up videos, but I'm trying to get better at not watching them until after I've at least tried the palette once, just because, I don't know, I just want to kind of go in with fresh eyes, blind eyes, no kind of hint at what I might find. So now that I'm trying this, I'm really curious to see if it's just me. This doesn't look good. And I have to go out after this, after the kids are done with their nap. I feel so negative in this video. I'm so sorry, like I'm nitpicking this palette to shreds, but it's just not going well for me. I'm not really sure how to fix that, except just to move on, because if it was a little bit lower, I would just take my, you know, my shimmer up. I guess I could just do a very sloppy shimmer. Let me see what these shimmers look like. So I was kind of anticipating when I was doing this look of using this, what was it, this Beach Please shade, because I feel like that would kind of incorporate all of it, or even I was looking at the pink if I wanted to contrast. Oh ship, they're all so beautiful, like they're gorgeous. One thing I will say about the shimmers, and I've seen a lot of people have 10 times worse than me, but my palette came with this one already doing the little like bleeding thing, like where the oils in it are leaking out. I'm not sure why palettes are doing that. I feel like, I don't know if it's because brands are manufacturing more intensity and like that shiftiness with their shadows, and that's just like a drawback. If you want it to be super intensely foiled, it's very, you know, it's got a lot of moisture in it, so therefore you're going to get that. But I don't like it. Visually, it just looks so gross. They're beautiful. So which one do I want to use? I really like this one. Like this one has a big shift to it, and I feel like it'll definitely go along with it, but will it almost, I'm gonna do this one. Beach Please, I think that's that one I really liked. Okay, I am gonna use a glitter glue, and then we'll go from there. Okay. This side looks a whole lot better than this side, most definitely, because this side is like all the blue just fell off that one. Like I went back once and it's just like gone. Okay, we'll just get a regular shader brush. This is the E55. I'm sorry I always like swing off camera when I go to get a brush, but like all my eyeshadow brushes, I should move this, but all my eyeshadow brushes are behind my mirror, so I'm gonna having to like move around it. I should switch it. I just had that thought, like why don't I switch it? So anyway, I'm gonna go in with Beach Please. Okay, I'm not gonna work on, I don't know. I kind of like the intensity of it being like very defined and packed on there, but like I said, I also think a wash of color might be good. Or like, you know, kind of a messy wash of color might be good to conceal all of the issues. Wow, that is pretty. That is very pretty. I think I'm just gonna stick to this. Should I use another one? Wow, it looks like wet looking on the eyes. It's very pretty. All right, let me do the other side. And then I might just put a touch of Call Me on My Shell Phone. That's cute. Might put a touch of that on the outer corner just to use another shadow. This is really pretty. It definitely just gives you that like your eyelids are wet, like that glossy, what was it, that glossy eye trend? But without having it actually wet with gloss. It's beautiful. I think these shimmers are gonna like save the palette in that respect. Like I don't think I'm going to get along with the mattes in here. But these shimmers are undoubtedly very pretty. Let me take just a touch of Call Me on My Shell Phone, that darker blue-green shade. I'm just gonna touch it on out here. Just because I'm also curious to see the difference. I think this one's definitely, so it's this shade and this shade. This is definitely, I feel like, more color packed and not as much like shifty packed. There's not as much of a shift in it. It's definitely a messy eyeshadow because I have fallout all over now. But I also think this shadow will help to hide this side, at least, of the blue, the matte blue that would not stick down. Maybe I'll bring it up here a little bit. Okay, so that definitely looks better. I still, there's a definite line here that I feel like grew as I was patting it on, almost like the shadow is just won't stick down. And I find that interesting because I started, like I used the clean canvas eye base. Now I did do my intro and all that, so I had a little bit of time to set because I put it on literally like right before I turned on and pressed record. So I would think that there would be enough tackiness to help this stick down, but it's really not. And also too, I should, you know, add is, you know, the issues with it patching aside, I'm not the craziest big fan of the pastels I tried today. The yellow is very, very light. I'm gonna see if I can dust this stuff off. And then there really isn't a whole big difference between the green and the blue. Okay, so that took it off a little bit, but honestly, I still have glitter, or not glitter, but I have sparkle all over my face. I'll just look like a real live mermaid out in the wild today, trying to powder to hide it. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to do some type of line. I feel like a pastel or maybe like a more neon might be real pretty. I'm gonna do the dark blue actually. I think that'll be really nice from Klarity Cosmetics. It's the one I'm gonna use today. So let me do this really quick because I can't really talk when I'm doing wing liner. It's very hard for me to talk and be able to concentrate, and also I don't really want to touch my face, so I have to be even more careful. So let me go ahead and do this and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and did my lashes as well as my liner since I was off camera already. So now we can go ahead and do the lower lash line, and I think as I look at this, the only pastels that I haven't used is the peach and the pink, and I am curious to see how they show up. So I think I'm going to use this peachy tone, which is Long Time No See. And I'm gonna pop that right underneath here really densely, and then we'll blend it out. And I'll probably marry that back with, I guess, just the blue since I had the blue on the outer corner. It's going on good as I'm just piling it on. Not that the lower lash line, it's kind of hard to see. If things are patchy, I feel like it has to be pretty significant to tell if you have any issues on your lower lash line. At least for me, I feel like usually it's pretty easy. And I'm just gonna touch into You Mermaid My Day, which is the blue. I think, yes. I had to look back and make sure, look at the green to make sure I had the colors right, because honestly this kind of just looks green when I use it. So this is going on fine. I'm definitely having to go back and forth a lot, as you guys are seeing. Maybe that's just like a me problem, because I feel like I tend to overdo it sometimes, but I'm just gonna put down a little bit more. This does seem to be like picking up on my concealer a little bit. Let me clean that off so I don't have any blue on it. And then just blend this out. Like it kind of picked up my concealer right there as I packed it on and tried to blend it. Put some of that back. That's fine. We're gonna call that good. And then for my inner corner, one of these two. Which one should I use? I think that top one, obviously, because it has a green shift. So I think that one was, is it Don't Be a Shellfish? Honestly, it's so hard to tell. Let me swatch these out again. Let's see, this is Don't Be a Shellfish, and then this is Oh Snap. So, what was that? Oh my goodness. They're very close, but one just has the most subtle of a green shift, and that's and that's Don't Be a Shellfish. Because this big one, I just swatched it again. That's Oh Snap, and then this one over here, that is Don't Be a Shellfish. And I think that has the green shift. Yeah, I see a little bit of green. Those two are very close though. The Oh Snap is almost just like a sheer, more see-through, whereas the Don't Be a Shellfish, kind of like they look in the pan, but it just looks more pigmented, more like it packs a punch. Those are very close. For my inner corner, I'm gonna go in with Don't Be Shellfish. I think that's nice and bright. I almost went with Oh Snap, but I think it has a little bit of, you know, depth to it that I don't know. You know, I don't want to bring down my look, so I'm gonna go with Don't Be a Shellfish. I think I'm gonna spray it just so I don't get a bunch of flying particles in my eyes. Where's my, oh, it's on the floor. I usually don't use this to set it, but, or to wet my brush for an inner corner, but the other one is on the floor, so we're just going to use this. Going to pack it on. Yeah, the shimmers are definitely beautiful. I know Amy's gonna love the shimmers. I feel like I always think of Amy whenever I think, or I try or see something that would be a blinding inner corner highlight. I think of Amy Loves Makeup. Yeah, that's definitely very, very pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. It's definitely flaky. Now this one is flaky also too, I should say. This one arrived a little busted up. Two of the shadows did arrive broken. Thankfully they were broken in the pan, so it didn't make a mess all over my palette, but I just pressed them back down. I did have, because I shared it on Instagram when the palette arrived and you could see that it was busted. And Klarity Cosmetics actually reached out like within 5 minutes of me posting that, and it was like, hey, so sorry to see it broke. If you send us your, and I didn't like message them or anything, but they were like, if you send us your order number, we'll get you a replacement for those shadows. And I told them no. I was like, oh, that's really sweet, but you know, it's fine. I pressed it back down. They're gonna work. As long as I don't drop it, it shouldn't be that detrimental to the life of my palette. So I told them not to worry about it. Okay, let me get a baby wipe because my little makeup wipe has seen better days. And let me just see how much I can clean myself up, and then I'm going to throw something in my waterline, put on a bottom lash mascara and lipstick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is pretty much the look. I put on a little bit of Butter London's cinnamon spice for my lipstick. Oh, my waterline also I used, where is it? Of course I always lose it. But I use this LA Girl Pastel Dreams Auto Liner in the shade Magic Mint. Let me put on some highlighter real quick and then we'll move on. I'm just gonna use this ABH highlighter. I used it the other day, this Iced Out. It's nice gold. I wasn't expecting, because it was called Iced Out, I was kind of expecting it to be very white. But this is actually a really pretty like gold for my skin tone. Maybe it shows up different for other people, but I really like it. It's almost like a green gold, I guess you would describe it. I don't know. I'm terrible at describing it. But all I know is I really do like the color on my skin tone. I think it's very pretty. So that is going to be the look for today. This is how it turned out. First impressions. Definitely am not a fan, I'll put it that way, but I don't want to dog on this too much because it could be my eyeshadow primer. I feel like when sticking issues and whatnot, I definitely want to consider the eyeshadow primer because I don't want to give a bad review on something if it was not the palette's fault. I have my suspicions that it's not the eyeshadow primer, but I do want to continue trying it. So I will be trying it, and then whenever I pick up the new Give Me Glow palette, I will be doing a video comparing the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams to this So Mermaizing palette, and I'll update you then on what my thoughts are, if I've had any changes, if I've been able to make it work and whatnot. But first impressions, honestly, it's the shimmers that are going to be the standout in here. I think all of the mattes are going to be very much a fail in my opinion. I mean, they're just so soft. These shades are so close. They're all so light and washed out. I feel like there's just not enough. Now, if you're someone who likes that very much pastel wash of color, I think you'll probably like this, as long as it's not, you know, I don't always have that patchy issue. I don't think that patchy issue would be wanted by anyone, because it looks so bad right now. I'm gonna be sticking close-ups, so let's go ahead and do that right now. But here are the close-ups so you guys can see. I'm gonna try my best to make sure you guys can see the issues, but I mean, I covered some of it up because I did, you know, put the shimmer on and kind of went up and was very messy to try and cover that up. But yeah, that is as good as I could get it, trying my best to just pack it on and leave it alone. But if you're someone who likes the pastels like Give Me Glow or even Glam Light, that type of very punchy and pigmented pastels, I don't think you will like this at all. So I don't know, that's just kind of my first impressions. Again, please take it with a grain of salt. Please, you know, I don't want to totally say this is an absolute fail, but I'm definitely disappointed. I can say that with a clear conscience. My first try, I'm definitely disappointed. I'll have to continue trying it to see if my thoughts change, but I mean, at least the saving grace is that the shimmers are absolutely beautiful. I think they're very, very pretty, and I'll definitely enjoy using them. I just might not enjoy using the matte shadows in it at all. Oh, it looks terrible and I have to go out on this, whatever. So yeah, that is gonna do it for me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I wasn't too much of a Debbie Downer. I tried to just give you guys my first impressions, my honest, you know, first impressions as I was putting them on, and this video ended up being much more of a struggle bus. I thought this would be a really quick video, but I ended up struggling and making this just as long as a regular eye look for me, so oh well. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it above all else. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you got this palette, what you think. I'd love to hear that. If you know, tried it and it worked for you, what type of base did you do with it? What type of techniques do you do differently and whatnot? But yeah, I always love to hear from you guys and your experiences with the palettes that I feature. And yeah, with all that said, thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.